Thank you for joining us today. We will answer frequently asked questions about the community editions of Reality Engine 425 and RealityHub. This is the first of many to come, I believe. This is Birim. I'll be your moderator today. And joining me, I have Bülent Vural, RealityHub designer, and
Hello.
technical artist Faraz Kayyum.
Let's start with the ports we are using on the Reality Community Edition system. First of all, we have an HTTP backend and web frontend, and our frontend connects to the backend using the HTTP 3000. You are able to change this port number during the installation. Another port we are using is 6001. This is right now a fixed port that connects the engines to the RealityHub. It's fixed to the 6001, and later releases we have this port also configurable. And maybe you already know when the engine running, it uses the default port. So we are connecting to that port, which is 6666. You're able to change this port also when you launch your instance, or you can use the default port if you're using the editor directly via the play button. And we have a database, of course, and it uses its default port. You still have ability to change this port also. These are the ports we are using. And next one, the authentication. So there are users and admins of the RealityHub system to limit the clients and their ability to use the system or manage the users. Of course, we have a default administrator, which has a default password, which is RealityHub. You are able to change this one once you enter the system, and your system will be more secure if you, of course, change the default password to something different. What admins can do, they can close the sessions of others when it's stuck. For example, a user moved to some other place, and admin can close its hanging session there to make the user able to relog in. Otherwise, system will prevent the users from the multiple logins. But admins can do multiple logins, but they will enter their passwords, and the sessions elsewhere will be closed automatically. And of course, admin can create the other users, change their passwords, and also admins can create other admins too. And users, of course, can change their own passwords. Another point that we would like to clarify is usage of shared folders. For how to scan for the projects, we are using a shared folder. It's similar to the R drive. Maybe some of you know already the Reality Control application before the older releases. We were using a map drive to access to the shared resources, including the projects and assets, of course. We are using a shared folder without mapping it to the local computer on the RealityHub, because we will make it easier for the users to configure the system. This way, you will be able to enter the shared folder and credentials of the shared folder to access to the system. And then the RealityHub will distribute this information through the engines if you have multiple engines. And all of the engines will be able to log in to that location and use the resources stored in that shared drive. Community edition is limited to use local engines, of course, but the system can be expanded to professional use and can handle multiple engines. It's best to use a network location and make it easier to access those locations by all of the engines and RealityHub itself. This is why we are using a shared folder on a local computer also. The username and password for the shared folders will be standard network sharing username password that you configure when you're sharing your folder to the network. When you install RealityHub on a clean system, it will try to enter some initial configuration to make it easier to configure and get it up and running. So, for example, a shared folder here called R drive or assets, for example, it may be point to the location you're using on your system, but it will try to enter some entries, default entries, so you're able to modify it according to your system, including the username and password. For projects, you need to scan your shared folder when you enter, when you create that on the configuration. And for assets, you don't need to scan it because scanning is only for projects here. Assets for the media files or pictures or maybe sound files that your project requires to get media from. Assets also should be stored on a shared location for all of the engines to be able to access that. To scan for the projects, you just click the scan button here. It will do a quick scan and it will update the last scan date and time here. This scanning process is a manual process. Means that if you change something on your projects or add or delete projects in your projects folder, you will rescan the project folder, project shared folder here for RealityHub to update its project database. And the projects will be listed if you check here, and they will be accessible using launcher. Another point we may need to clarify is using these terms, host and instance. We call host for the hardware platform that the engine processes will be started when you launch a project. For the community edition, the local computer also will be your host for engine instances, of course. And the instance that will be configured as a single entry under that host or multiple instances in the same host if your hardware is capable of running multiple Reality Engine instances. Of course, each instance will use its dedicated Reality port, so the system will be able to access to all of the configured instances in that way. You will be able to change the ports on the created instance using the configuration, but for this, of course, that instance should be free. I mean, it should be stopped. For backward compatibility, the default port for the first instance will be 4 6s, and the next one starts with the 7001. To create and configure the system and compositing pipelines, we are using rgraphs through the node graph editor. Rgraph is the extension of the file we were using on our rgraph files. So we use the same name on the RealityHub, but the storage location will not be the local storage, not the disk storage actually. It's stored in the hub database. And when you want to have that rgraph as a file, or if you have a file, you can import that file, or as I say, you can export the stored rgraph as a file to send somewhere or get from some outside location. Another point we need to mention is the ways to launch a project. There are 2 ways to launch a project and start using via RealityHub. One is launching using the RealityHub. For this, you need to configure your hosts and instances, and also a launch configuration, as mentioned in the videos. So, for example, I have a launch configuration here with a 1 vendor entry. It's set to launch a first instance in my configuration, my project, a map set, and rgraph will be loaded initially when I launch the project. So this is the first way of launching a project. When you click launch, it will open up that project through Reality Editor, and it will be accessible via Node Graph Editor here. Second way is to use the editor directly, manually. For example, if you're already working on a project and your editor is running, you don't have to use a launcher on the RealityHub for that. When you make changes, you save it, of course. And if you click play button, Reality Engine will start and will be accessible, and it will appear as online with its FPS info on the bottom bar of the RealityHub. So we are not launching that through the launcher. So this page is no longer needed for that use. And you can directly go to the node editor, select the engine you want, and you can load your rgraph and start using the system. So when to use the launcher and when to use Reality Editor play button is depending on your requirements. For example, if you have many projects that you already designed and finished with them, and you will switch between them quickly, for example, you configure the launch configurations for those projects, and you can just start and stop each one of them when you need it. If you're editing, as I say, on the editor, if you're a designer, for example, you can just skip the launch section of the RealityHub and directly play the editor and go directly to the Node Graph Editor, Form Builder, Actions, and Play Out. I think that's enough for me today, this time. So Faraz will go into details about how to use the pipelines, editor, and RealityHub. Faraz?
Before Faraz starts,
if there's any question. Yeah.
It's okay. It's my job to intervene today. So there are a few questions. What is the minimum limit or recommendation net speed for our drive?
We always test at least 1 gigabit speed because, you know, the Unreal projects are huge. And also assets may contain videos and large pictures. So because of that, at least 1 gigabyte should be used. It's a standard, and we use 1 gigabit NIC connection on our tests too. That works well.
Thank you. One more. Is it possible to integrate RealityHub with ENPS over MOS?
For the community edition, we don't have a MOS integration, but RealityHub has that functionality. So for broadcasters, they have implemented MOS integration with NCS systems, of course, and the playout section will give some idea about its usage. It connects to the NCS systems, get the rundowns, and also we have a plugin, HTML5 plugin that NCS application can embed in its client, and the users will be able to prepare their graphics through the day when they make their news stories. Of course, during the program, live program, the operators will be able to see the rundowns created by the NCS side and have real-time updates from the NCS.
Okay, thank you. So we can move on to Faraz right now, but Bülent will be with us throughout the webinar. So if you have more hub questions, just keep them coming and he will take them in the meantime. Over to you, Faraz.
Thank you, Reem. Thank you, Bülent. It's our first webinar, so I would like to stick with very basic things because most of the people are still struggling with kind of basic workflow and all that stuff. And we would like to push them that they have to use the Reality because it's free, by the way, as a control application for their project. So I have a couple of some things that I want to show you. Let me share my screen. All right, can you see my desktop right now? Bülent?
Yes, no problem.
All right. So I would like to turn off my camera so you guys can get maximum bandwidth, right? Okay. So this is the very basic demo scene that we already got with Reality installation, right? And guys, this is the best way to learn and understand the Reality editor workflow, how Blueprints works, how the different kind of properties exported from the Reality and all that stuff. So it has almost all the basic features of Unreal, and it is workable, it is editable, you can customize your stuff, and I always recommend that to start with the demo scene first. So I would like to make most of this scene to show you few things that unfortunately I didn't cover in the videos. So it's a great chance for me to show you guys what are those things. So let's hit play, and you know that when we hit play, it starts communicating with the RealityHub. And this is the fit to screen button, right? And most of the people don't know about it. So what happened? This is the one case that I encountered with that I got from the community, that whenever he hit play, that guy didn't see the engine node, right? So it is there, and you must hit this fit to screen button, right? So it is there. Okay, so I just hit play and my scene start communicating with all the blueprint and properties exposed to the RealityHub. But before I start, I would like to create a very basic pipeline to show you one new feature that we have in RealityHub Preview 2. By the way, you already watched these things in my videos, right? So what is the feature? This is the monitor window. Now you don't have to check your whole reality editor in order to check the things that they are working or not. Just monitor the node and it's there. This is the great feature. And let me show you. I'm using it quite often nowadays, and right. So this is something new that you don't have in preview 1. Okay. So you can monitor your texture output, you can monitor your streams and different kind of things, right? And you can set it anywhere you want, and whenever you want, you can close it, right? This is one thing. The second thing is that inside the reality editor, the same scene, the same demo scene, we have this level sequencer, right? And another question from the community, some of the people asking that where is the sequencer? When I hit play, I didn't see any node for sequencer. Let me show you where it is. It is just very basic animation, sorry, just a very basic animation. I exported it from 3ds Max and just put it in the sequencer. That's it, nothing else. Very basic. So in order to control the sequencer, let's hit play again. And let me show you right here. Just right click, level sequencer. Again, right click, level sequencer, and here we go. The sequencer is hidden inside the menu. So all the sequences that you have created are automatically exported to the reality control application, but you have to import them like this. Now, if I select it in the function tab, you have this button to play and this one to reverse, right? So it is there. It is always there. Okay, now let's move on to the timeline and form builder. I'm sorry, I didn't save the last configuration, so let's make it again. All right, we have a connected animation node here, and it's just a basic blueprint that we have, right? And here we go. Let me show you. And when you hit play, it starts running, and when you hit play again, it stops, right? So let me create a timeline for this, because you can create a timeline for your action as well, right? For your events as well. So first of all, let me create a new timeline. And from that, let me name it. Let's add this event to the timeline, to blueprint to the timeline, and create a keyframe for this. So when I hit play, whenever I hit play, it triggered that particular event, right? And after some time, maybe within 4 seconds, I would like to add it again, right? So let me show you what happened when I play the timeline. So you can control your events through the timeline as well. And not only one, but as many as you wish. Let me show you another thing. This is the level sequencer that I showed you earlier. Let me click, search for the level sequence that I have. I want this one, right? So let me add play event to the timeline. And I would like to create a keyframe for this, right? And when it reaches to that time, I would like to play the reverse, this one, sorry. So let's hit play. So you can control both of the events from two different blueprints together. Let me play it again. All right, so it's far from, I think you can see the character as well, right? Let me hit it again. Here we go. And finally, you would be able to create a form to trigger this timeline as well. So let's hit save button first. The action is saved. Let's create a new form. Drag your button. Turn on the bind mode from there. Press Control and click on the button. And you will see this binding icon right there, and click on it. Now your test 02 is triggerable with this button as well. Let me save it, right? And again, I would like to play it right from there. So it's a robust, it's quite customized. You can use the timelines, you can use the form builder, and no one is stopping you to use the node graph by itself. It's already there, right? There is no right or wrong way, depend upon your workflow, right? So there are 3 different ways of controlling your data-driven graphics, your animation, your level sequencer, and all that stuff. Okay, so let me move on to another thing that I want to show you. Buland already covered that in the presentation, but still, it is there. You can export your timeline, your action right from there, and it is RHA file. I believe that it is RealityHub action, right? And you can save it and load it, export it, take it to another computer if you want. It is right there. and you can save your form right from there. And it is JXD file. So it's there. All right. So these are the few things that I want to show you, but there is another thing. And let me show you what it is. Let's move. I don't want this. Let's move everything right there. In the node graph editor, you have these pre-made templates. And guys, everything is configured in these templates. Composite augmented with no shadow, composite augmented with shadows, composite cyclorama keyer, cyclorama keyer, geometry renderer, and track talent. Everything is there. So what I want to show you that you can always load these if you want to, right? And everything is configured for you. And I have a very basic example for you guys. This webinar is for the people who just started with their RealityHub and all that stuff. It's not about the compositing everything, but I love to show you that how easy it is. I'm working on my basic laptop. I don't have Aja, so I want to remove it, right? I don't have any capturing card. I don't have tracking system. I don't have green screen as well, right? Even I don't need a delay, but leave it right there. What I have very basic. I have two screenshots that I get from the video, right? Just to show you a clean plate and talent on the green screen. That's it, nothing else. So I am going to use this to demonstrate a very basic setup, very basic. And it is not an ideal scenario, I know, but still I want to show you the template is working absolutely fine. You don't have to create your pipeline from scratch. You can start it right from there. Okay, this is the green. By the way, there are several ways that you can adopt to create the clean plate, but and I've already mentioned those things in the videos as well, but still. Let me show you. And I would like to add a mixer node as well. All right, and let's connect the video maybe from there. And you'll see that Cyclorama is there. Let me turn on this. And it is looking quite small right now. Let's make it bigger. It should supposed to fit your green screen, actual green screen, right? I don't have one right now. So I'm just ready to show you a few things. Let me make it a little bigger. Something like this maybe. And I just want to add the projection. And now I am going to change it from this guy. And that's it. Reality Keyer works 90% accurate most of the time. And this is what I'm showing you right now. And let me set few things right there. And now it's all about fine tuning. all about fine tuning, nothing else, right? And basically, those things are out of scope for this webinar, at least. We will gonna cover those things in later, because there are quite a few controls that you have in reality here. Let's check it out. That this was the clean plate that I have, right? And that was the input that I have. And look at the shadows. Even it is highly compressed, blurry image, which is a nightmare for any kind of a care. And I did nothing, just load the template, input media, and just provide the clean plate and the media input with the talent, and that's it, nothing else. And these are a couple of something that you can check right from there. So we have multi-level control over that. So the soft matte, spill control, and color correction node, and core matte, and all that stuff. So anyway, this is just to demonstrate you that it is there and you can use it, at least to check or test the composite pipeline, that how it works. We just want you to learn the node-based real-time compositing. That's it. So let me correct a few things. That's it. So guys, if you want to add few more controls, this is the power of the node-based compositing system. If you want to add few more controls, you can do this right from there. Maybe I want to add a color corrector node in between, right before the let me do this. Right. And maybe if you want to control the background as well, so you can put another color corrector node between. Anyway, this is just very basic, a high level overview that templates are working absolutely fine. You can check it, you can test it, you can do some experiments and all that stuff. If you guys have any question so far, I would like to take.
Well, we have plenty.
Oh my God.
Here I go. Can I use C++ with Reality Editor? See, I couldn't make a C++ actor because I didn't see it in the resources.
I think it's for Black.
I believe it's...
Black, can you answer this question?
Yeah, can you hear me? I believe it supports C++ programming in Reality Editor, because it's, you know, it's the editor with some added functionality on top of the Unreal editor. But anyway, I'm not a specialist for the Unreal editor right now, but I believe so. Maybe Ali will answer that question. Ali is already answering the other question.
Ali is very active. He's everywhere.
Yeah. Another question maybe for us knows. I just noticed that the scene you're showing right now for us is shipped with the community edition, right? Am I right? I think Faraz is having some connection issues.
We lost Faraz at the moment.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Okay.
There are plenty of questions for you, Bülent.
I'm trying to answer all of them as,
yes, it's okay.
as
Let's
I can.
go over a few. Yeah.
There was a question related with the shipped example projects, and I think the scene for us is working right now is already shipped as a starter project, and a few from the Epic already, I think, in the Reality Community Edition. And of course, there are plenty of free resources that works with the from the Unreal world. I think Faraz is coming.
Yeah, I'm back, guys. Sorry.
Hi, Faraz. I just wanted to make sure, double check with you, if we are shipping the senior showing right now. I mean,
Yes,
as a
yes, yes,
starter.
yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. Let me share my screen again, and I would like to show you if you want. Birim, can I show them?
Of course. In the meantime, I'm asking what type of capture cards are being used by our community, so we can prepare videos to help you. We might not officially support most of them, but we are trying to help you as much as possible to use them, because we keep having questions about the Blackmagic cards.
And here we go. This
Yeah.
is it.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is it. All right.
Okay, so let's move on. There's general AR and Virtual Studio questions as well. For example, can you use Reality to simply composite AR graphics on top of a person standing in front of a LED wall with end display, with LED wall with end display?
Yes, I believe. Definitely.
Well, recently we had our Indian partner have a demo with the LED walls behind, and they just turned them green and used as a cyclorama as well. So, well, you can, I think, do a lot of things with Reality in terms of LEDs and also virtual studios and with AR. So let's continue. How to get, okay, this is another question to reply like this, but maybe we can refer a video. How to get reflections in an AR project on live feed?
Yes, it is possible. You can have the reflections, AR reflection directly from your assets on the floor, and you can even mask it. So definitely, it's a process that I don't know. Maybe in the AR video, if you just share the link, I don't know the reflection is there or not. But the short answer, yes, of course you can have the reflections.
Yes. Well, this is part of Reality Engine's cutting edge features. You don't lose soft shadows. You don't use reflections, retractions. It's all there. Have you added a reroute node to your R graph? Do we have a reroute node?
No.
No, right?
Blend.
Yes, Faraz.
We don't have the reroute node in the hub right now, right?
Actually, Hub has the nodes what the engine has actually. RealityHub is not creating any nodes itself by itself. It's taking the all functionality from the Reality engine and reflects them as a user interface. I will check. Actually, I don't know about the reroute node. Actually, it may be sequence node or something.
No,
it's similar to that, or
yeah, we don't right now we don't have, because we are working to get all the Unreal features in the node graph as well. But right now, definitely we don't have it.
Okay, maybe we need to check this with the engine development and consider.
Yes. Let's move on. Does RealityHub work with VRPN or OptiTrack or net tracking protocol?
I can say that the tracking protocols we are supporting is already listed in the documentation, if I'm not wrong, actually. I don't know much about this particular tracking systems, but we are supporting plenty of the protocols.
Okay. We already answered in a lot of places, but I just want to take it. What is the minimum requirements for the workstation to be able to work? And should I use the engine and editor on one machine or separate them? Which is better?
Actually, you should use the engine and the RealityHub server on the same machine for the community edition. If you're using for professional use to broadcast some live events, for example, if you're a broadcaster, you need to distribute your workload to multiple engines and maybe multiple hub servers. In that case, we need to consider the size of the project and complexity of the designs, of course. For community edition, again, the engine and the RealityHub server should run on the same machine. And for reference, actually, we are using NVIDIA GTX cards on our laptops, and we are running it fine. But if there is any very complex project, of course, the requirements will be higher for that project.
Okay, thank you. We have a lot of beginners in this webinar with us. So there is a question on very general features of reality. For us, can you answer this one? Will the live feed green screen will be an object with its own XYZ position within the 3D environment, or it is a layer that will be composited?
It is, you can say it is an object inside 3D environment. This is how we composite the things, right? We are compositing inside 3D space. It's not an effect. It's not a video feed on top of the virtual set. We are compositing. And I demonstrate just a few minutes ago that we have a 3D cyclorama, and I project the clean plate, then I project the live feed and all the keying stuff that I did there. So it is 3D compositing, not the layer-based compositing that you have in Photoshop.
Okay, thank you. I'm also sharing Reality Keyer, Virtual Studio, and AR pipeline resources. You can take them from the chat. And okay, let's move on. Okay, can you transit between multiple sets, and how smooth it is?
Yes, if you're talking about the level streaming thing, that definitely you can do this. You can load multiple level on runtime. And if you're talking about loading different scenes from different projects, yes, you can do it. It depends on the project. Once it cached inside the RealityHub, then it is like a couple of some seconds. And if you're talking about the level streaming kind of a thing, it's just blink of an eye. Just click and the set will be there. So there are two different ways. One is from the blueprint, the level streaming, and the second one is our own RealityHub feature that we have.
Okay, thank you. For the demo scene project Faraz is using, it is included in the community edition version as the Reality Starter pack, by the way. You will have access to that. And let's move on. We are having final round of questions, I think. If you have questions, just shoot it right now. So Eric says, just to get it straight, RealityHub is a cloud-based server for reality control. How do you answer this, Bülent?
More than that, actually. We are planning to have all and more functionality from the old reality control applications in the RealityHub, and extend beyond that by adding more data-specific features, more dynamic features, more tools for the developers, and more platforms like mobile and actually platforms that can run a modern web browser. So we will extend these features. But will it replace the reality control applications? Definitely it will. We are planning to do that.
Yes, this is RealityHub's Preview 2 version. And as we have more releases, you will see the modular capabilities of RealityHub, that you will be able to write your own plugin for your own use cases. So it will develop more than it is right now. Okay, I'm checking more questions. Okay, so I answered this a lot in the chat, but Faraz, can you talk about what is different with Community Edition and the License Edition, actually? Community Edition, it has a full feature set. So can you talk about this a little bit?
Yeah, a community feature has full feature sets, right? You can use it just like a licensed version, all the features. But definitely, there are few limitations. If you read the EULA, EULA, it says that you can't use it commercial. You don't have to, you never make money out of it. Simple answer. Basically, the features are there and they are working as fine as the licensed version, but they are with the watermark. But Reality Engine is the first community version that have ability to remove the watermark as well. So if you want to use it as a proof of concept, if you want to make your show reel or something, if you are a student, right, and you just try to explore the things, it is there, and even you can remove the watermark. So if you are talking about the difference between the licensed version and community version, the short answer, there is no difference between both of them in terms of functionality.
Yes. Even if you're not a student, but you're a production house and you want to have a demo, you can remove the watermark for 5 minutes and show
it's just for the proof of concept.
Your project, yes. So
exactly.
What ships with community version is almost everything. Even Reality Care is inside for you to see. You have inputs, outputs. You just don't use it commercially. And if you want to use it commercially, you just contact the sales team and say which features you want to unlock and use, and they will get back to you basically. So it's all there. So Eric asks about the cooking process. The community version has cook or not for us?
No.
It doesn't.
So
tell us about cooking, why it's important, why you use it, why you don't use it.
In the gaming world, the cooking is the last process when you ship your games, right? So it is the optimized version of your game because there are so many things going on the gaming side, right? So many things. But the cooking is something that is privilege, you can say. If you are, I don't think so that in most of the cases you need cooking. Most of the cases, because the cook version, and by the way, definitely, yes, of course, we have to give this answer because we are the first, we are the only one who can manage the cooking with all the controls and everything, right, in the live production. So RealityHub community version doesn't support the cook project, but why you need to cook your project is my question. It is just for the optimization, or if you are older user of the reality, experienced user of the reality, you used to cook your project, right? So I don't think so that you need the cooking feature until unless that you have so many assets, so many blueprints, and you are leaking some kind of, you have a frame drop or you need to optimize the things. So cooking is not in the RealityHub community version.
Yes. Okay, moving on. Well, question is, when we are a licensed user, do we get rid of the watermark permanently? Of course you do. You will be a licensed user. Yeah. So what is the latest only Unreal version that we support for us?
It's 4.5.
Yes, it's already titled Reality 425. So the final release is the community release, and it supports Unreal 425. Can we use any pre-recorded green screen video footage?
Yes.
Input.
Short answer, yes.
Yes. Okay. Actually, our artist team are preparing some green screen footage for you, so you can use it in your projects as well. So we are trying to make it easier for you to use. Well, we have a lot of questions about Vive Tracker. The short answer is yes, you can use Vive Tracker with Reality. Do you have a longer version for us?
No, it's the shortest answer, because we support 3D UDP and almost every single protocol. But the thing is that you need to have a good command over the blueprints, so you can export your consolidated Vive Tracker data as a node inside the Reality Control application. Then you can connect it to any protocol that you want. I believe that it is doable. It is 100% doable. I didn't try it yet, but I'm sure that I can do this.
Yeah. Actually, in IBC 2018, we had an HTC Vive Tracker small demo, and Solidanim Stimity has wrote the code that links the two, and I'm trying to find the video for you. And he commented that you can expose with a ZD actor a blueprint moving with an HTC Vive, then connect the transform to a user track node into our graph. So there you go. He has an answer. You can check the answered questions as well. Well, these are everything we covered so far. Yes.
And Brahim,
do you have anything to add?
Yeah, I'm just sharing a video that our technical artists have prepared, and
Yep.
that video is for the people who want to ask about Blackmagic card.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. Thank you.
Let me please just wait. By the way, it is already shared on our Facebook group.
Yes, I will share the link to the Facebook group. You may not have a Facebook, but if you do, talking with other community members and seeing these firsthand is, I think, very helpful. So we recommend. And here is the IBC 2018 demo that you can see the HTC Vive integration with Reality, and it turned to a basketball. Yes. Bülent, does Reality Engine maintain a direct import-export pipeline with Blender?
It depends.
Yeah.
It depends on Unreal's functionality. We are not adding any extra functionality to integrate with the Blender, but I'm not sure if the Unreal has this integration with Blender or not. Actually, if Unreal has that,
yeah,
most probably Reality
Vanilla
will support that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, I've seen 6 HTC Vive tracker questions and as much Blackmagic, but I think we answered them all.
Did you get the video, Billy?
Not really. Did you share it? Oh yes,
Yes.
I saw. Okay, this is.
For the Blackmagic question, just share the video.
Okay. So this is us. Do you have final words, Bülent, as we close up?
I just want to say that we are continue developing the RealityHub community version and adding more features as we are able to do it. And we are planning to release as often as we can, actually. So you can expect new releases from us soon, actually. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, preview after preview is coming your way very soon. It's the only thing that Bülent and his team are onto. So you will be having a lot of updates in your mailbox. So for us, let's have your closing words.
Yeah, it's for the community, it's for you, it's free, and we expect a lot from you, and your feedback is very important for us, very important for us. If you make something that you want to share with the community, just share with it. You can share it and just add somewhere that powered by Reality Engine. And we love to feedback on this. We love to see what you can do with the reality, and the sky is the limit.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you, everyone. I will stay behind a little bit to let you copy and paste all the links we've shared you. We bombarded you in this 1 hour. So thank you, Faraz and Bülent.
Thank you.
See you in another webinar.
See you.
Bye.